What's going on, YouTube? So if you're wondering why the R1 is back on a stand, you're right, it doesn't start again. Got a new starter, finally, but I've pretty much replaced everything else. Starter relay, the solenoid there under the seat, new lithium ion battery, checked the valve lash, everything, and starting to get really frustrated. So you can hear that relay clicking. It's a pretty loud clack. I think it's trying to turn that starter over, but it's just not doing it. So we're gonna tear it down today, and I'm actually gonna split that starter and look inside of it. I think there's gonna be some damage on the inside. So let's get to it, and hopefully the spike will be fixed once and for all. I'm getting tired of wrenching on it. It's my favorite bike to ride, but damn, this thing, I've had nothing but issues with it. So let's get into it. All right, so we're about halfway here. This isn't really a how-to video. I'm just gonna tear into it because I'm kind of in a rush, but just wanted to give you a little tip here. When you have these throttle bodies off, just make sure these little vacuum caps right here, there's 4 of them. They fall off really easy, and you will have a vacuum leak after. So just make sure those little caps stay on. But other than that, so I got everything pretty much out of the way. You can see the starter just sitting under this cover here. So I'm gonna have to get the harness out of the way and just peel this heat shield back, and the starter should be pretty much right there. So after you have the intake, throttle bodies out of the way, it's not too much farther. Yeah, it's just under this cap here. And if you guys do want a more detailed video about how to get the intake and throttle bodies and all of that stuff off, I do have other videos that I've posted previously. All right, so really close now. Got the heat shield out of the way. There is the starter. So the new starter here, we only have 2 bolts holding it in. She's sitting in there kind of like that. I might be able to squeeze this out, get these 2 bolts and the positive cable off of it without disconnecting this coolant line here. It's kind of what I'm going for because I'm trying to do this as quick as possible, and I don't want to go buy coolant or anything, but we'll see how it goes. So I got the starter loose. I got those 2 bolts out. But unfortunately, I still can't slide it out past this coolant pipe. So I'm draining the coolant right now. You're either gonna have to take this pipe out or the inner one out. Depends if you want to slide it forwards or out the side. So there's the starter there. I might slide it out this way. Just draining the coolant out the bottom. Little drain plug there. Yeah, don't waste your time trying to squeeze that starter out of there like I did. It's close, but just not quite enough room. I gave it a good effort though. So the nice thing about wrenching on your own bike, you learn the anatomy a little bit more. I thought this might have been a little water pump hanging off the side here. It's actually the thermostat. So disconnected the thermostat. I left that hard pipe on that goes into the cylinder head, just because if there's an O-ring on there or something and it kind of tears on the way out, I don't want to have to go and buy more parts. I was already waiting for a long time just to get the starter, but yeah, starter comes right out of there. Oh yeah, she is not in good shape. Let's get her to the bench. So just by looking at these things right now, you can obviously see this old starter, most likely original, and I can almost guarantee that's going to be my issue. The case seals are not in good shape at all. And if they're letting water or anything inside the case, I don't blame that starter for failing. I'm gonna crack it open and see what it looks like on the inside. So when this starter failed, I could actually smell a little bit of a burning smell. So I'm expecting these brushes or the magnets on the inside of the case are gonna be in pretty rough shape. So just cracked it open here, and there's a lot of debris on the inside of this. So those brushes look pretty worn out. And then the armature and everything on this side, a lot of debris in there. And this thing stinks. It smells burnt. So pretty confident that this is going to be the root cause of all my issues from day one. So let's get this new starter in there and just verify. So the bike's all back together here. I never had to buy any extra coolant. As long as you don't spill any, you should be good that way. All in all, the job is a little bit time consuming, but it's not that hard if you're mechanically inclined. I've had the bike out already a couple times. I've rode it for a couple days in a row, no hiccups yet. So I'm pretty confident that this was the root cause of my issue right from day one. That old starter was literally so bad and so burnt, my whole shop smells like it's about to catch fire. It's smoky in here, it's nasty. It's always a good feeling seeing the carnage like that. It makes you confident with the repair. Hopefully seeing my struggles since I picked this bike up helps you pinpoint issues with your bike a little bit sooner than I did. I'll start her up here one last time for you guys, just so you know she's back in good working order. It's been sitting for probably 2 days. It's about +5 in the shop here, so it's pretty cold. Nice cold start. Good as new again. So let's stop wrenching on this thing and get back to riding.